What's going on, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here, and we're back with another episode of Designated Twitter. On today's episode, should the Dodgers replace Hanser Alberto? Is Hanser the answer for the Dodgers, or should they look elsewhere and try to add a name on the trade market? We're going to get into that, so be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. Now, the first topic we're going to dive into today, we asked you over on Twitter, do the Dodgers need to replace Hanser Alberto on the bench? If so, who are some names you would want to see them trade for to bolster their bench? I asked the staff here that question, and here were some of their takes.
The Dodgers need Hanser Alberto. He is the cheerleader. He's your over-the-rail guy. He brings the energy. He brought the switch it up. I mean, bringing the switch it up hand signal alone should cement his spot on this Dodgers roster. Hanser is the answer.
I mean, if they're going hard in the paint, I'd like to see like a Whit Merrifield type of dude. They need help. I love Hanser Alberto. He brings a spark, but dude has not done enough to help off the bench. Hey, the kids are going to love this one. Bring back Kike. Hashtag bring back Kike.
Something about Hanser Alberto. I'm gonna say no. As a former bench guy, bench players, give him some love. Let's keep him. He's the heart of the team, as some people say. Clint brought up Whit Merrifield, Kike. I say no. Keep Hanser Alberto.
So those were some of their takes, but let's get into some of your fire takes over on Twitter and YouTube. Field General 2482 tweeted, I love Hanser's good vibes and his positivity in celebrating his teammates' success. We've got Terry, Blockbuster with Reds, Castillo and Drury. Drury is a badass. We've got Carol and Leaf who tweeted, no, they need a guy like him in the dugout, the Mickey Hatcher, the Kike. He's the heart of that dugout. Then Ray Lokar, he tweeted, when CT3 returns, he can take Hanser's right-handed infield reps. Trace and Lamb or Vargas can hold down the fort in left on those days. Plus, Rios and Bush, although left-handed hitters, are in the mix as well. Yes, the Dodgers do have some internal options. That's a great point. We haven't seen Vargas. We haven't seen Bush, what they've been able to do. But Trace and Lamb, they've gotten it done so far, and they are getting CT3 back. So that's a great take right there. Ray Lokar over on Twitter. And then Sam Val, he tweet out, I'd go for a reunion. You've got the Kike Hernandez gif. Clint's pushing hard for Kike Hernandez, so we'll see, man. We know Dodger fans love them some Kike, and you saw what he was able to do for the Red Sox last year in the postseason. We know he's a fan favorite. You can rock the banana suit again, but I do think the fact that he already split, I don't see him coming back. Then we've got Landry, who over on Twitter tweeted, no, he's a great clubhouse guy and good for chemistry, so you want to see the Dodgers keep Hanser. And then Alex, he tweeted, keep him as a clubhouse guy, but for sure we need somebody else to bat for him. So I'm with you on the last point. That's what I was going to get into. If you look at his numbers, players with at least 70 plate appearances during the season, Hanser Alberto ranks 18th when it comes to F4 at negative 0.7, 58th in WRC+. So, look, they brought him in here to be a guy that has those bat-to-ball skills, but he just hasn't had very much success. Hasn't been able to hit lefties, but I do like what he brings to the dugout. And there is something to be said about guys that bring that passion, bring that energy. I like what he brings when you look at his weighted good vibes created plus. Off the charts, but at the plate, just not getting it done. So if the question is, should the Dodgers try to upgrade from Hanser Alberto? The answer is yes. And let's look at last year's team. Who they have coming off the bench? You had the NLCS, the biggest game of the season. You had Steven Souza Jr., Andy Burns, and Albert Pujols coming off the bench in key situations. And look, we loved Artio, right? I call him the DH, the designated hugger for the Dodgers. He was fantastic for clubhouse morale, but he really struggled. He looked overmatched in the postseason. I mean, he was 42 going on 82, and he had been in the league so long that when he started, he had to start off at third base because Mark McGwire was blocking first base. So that's how long he had been in the league. So if you look at the Dodgers trying to upgrade their bench this time around, I think it is going to be crucial. And I think one name, look, we've talked about this name here, Brandon Drury would be a perfect pickup. He is a big-time piece that could really help get this Dodgers offense just completely to a whole nother level. Now, it looks like me and the Dodgers are on the same page, because yesterday it came out that according to Andy Martino of SNY, the Dodgers, along with the Giants, are interested in trading for Drury. Martino wrote in his latest piece, but league sources say the Dodgers and Giants are showing more interest in Drury at present. What he's saying there is the Dodgers and Giants are showing more interest than the New York Mets, because that's the team he covers for SNY. So, yes, I think that Brandon Drury, he fits the mold for what the Dodgers look for players they trade for at the deadline. He's going to be a free agent after this season, so there isn't a long-term commitment. You know the Dodgers covet positional versatility, and so far this year, Drury has played 51 games at third base, 20 games at second, 5 at first, and some games at shortstop. He hasn't played in the outfield this year, but he has a good amount of experience playing the corner outfield spots in the past and has proven to be a competent outfielder. Now, he's not elite defensively by any stretch, but his value is a lot like Chris Taylor's, where he can play so many different positions at a passable level that you can plug him in the outfield. You can throw him into the infield, and this year Chris Taylor isn't playing the infield spots because of the offseason elbow surgery he underwent, and Dave Roberts has talked about how they don't like the arm angles in the infield and the throws for CT3 this year because they don't want to risk injuring that elbow or anything like that. So when you look at Drury's numbers so far this year, he's slashing 279, 338, 535 with a 138 WRC plus. He's hit 18 bombs, and what you love about him is he rakes against lefties. A 1,061 OPS versus southpaws this season, 8 home runs, 6 doubles. Also hits well against righties, an 804 OPS. Most of his home runs have come against righties, 10 of his 18 bombs against right-handed pitching, 38 RBIs, 12 doubles, and 2 triples. So a very well-rounded hitter, a guy that can really mash at the plate. He's having a career year, so you're really picking him up at the right time. And yes, Chris Taylor isn't going to be out for very much longer. And yes, we saw last night the big hit by Hanser Alberto to put the Dodgers on top. He's very popular within the Dodgers clubhouse. But look, I think when you consider the fact that this window of opportunity to get a player like Brandon Drury, you could plug in here, he could be the cherry on top for the Dodgers. He can be the icing on the cake for this Dodgers offense. And I think when you consider the fact that, yes, Trace Thompson, yes, Jake Lamb, they've gotten it done so far, but will they catch a case of the regressions? Will they regress to the mean at some point, and will that platoon work for very much longer? Yes, it definitely could, but you bring in Brandon Drury, a guy that can play the infield, a guy that can play the outfield, the guy that can rake. He's having a breakout year. He also wants to set himself up for a payday after this season, considering the fact he'll enter free agency, and he really bet on himself. He signed a minor league deal with the Reds. There was some talk that he was going to sign with the Angels, but he ends up with the Reds, and he really should have been an all-star. Now, what did we see last year from Andrew Friedman? He traded for a starting pitcher and an impact position player. While Brandon Drury isn't Trey Turner and Luis Castillo isn't Max Scherzer, still, you consider the fact that they need some insurance at the starting pitcher spot. You could use another right-handed bat, and if this team is truly all in on winning a World Series this year, I think this is a move they might consider making. You do the super blockbuster deal. I've been talking about it for months. You trade for Luis Castillo, and you really tie up any loose ends that this team may have, and you put them in a great position to win the World Series come October. And that's what it's all about, a big impact back. Look what we saw from Eddie Rosario last year. The Braves trade for him. He has the big NLCS, wins the NLCS MVP, and he's fallen off the map this season. So sometimes you can catch lightning in a bottle for some of these midseason trades for bats like Brandon Drury. And what he does, he hits the ball hard in the 81st percentile in barrel percentage, the 72nd percentile in hard hit percentage. Strikeouts, yes, he's below average when it comes to strikeout rate and chase rate. And defensively, he's not fantastic, but he's very versatile. And I definitely think when you consider the fact that they don't have to commit to him long term, this is a player that really checks off a lot of the boxes that Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers look for when it comes to midseason acquisitions. But you know we have to break out the Dodgers rumor meter, and for this rumor that has the Dodgers interested in Brandon Drury. I'm going to give this one a 3 Dodger dogs. I definitely think there's some smoke here between the Dodgers and the Reds. I think they've been in talks for Castillo. I think you've heard Andrew Friedman probably explore the idea of a Castillo-Drury trade package. I think the big question is, how big of an asking price do they have for Castillo? Do they want a king's ransom? When you consider the fact that Frankie Montas has that shoulder injury, how much did that increase the value for Luis Castillo? So there's a lot of things in play right now, but let's not forget the Dodgers have one of the best, most fertile farm systems in Major League Baseball. Teams around the league know the kind of talent and the development skills that this organization has, and the Reds, don't kid yourself, they want their hands on some of these Dodgers prospects. And I've spoken to some Reds beat writers, and they've told me that they're interested in an outfield prospect, and a name that comes to mind is Andy Pages. So we'll see how this develops. I'm going to keep you guys informed every step of the way, so definitely keep it locked here to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Let me know down below in the comment section, do you think they need to upgrade from Hanser Alberto? Would you like to see them go after Brandon Drury? Let me know down below in the comment section. My name is DMac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, and more, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.